Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kara's Cure Show, where we explore the cutting edge of wellness for our mind, body, and spirit. I'm Kara Sundlin. Are you feeling thirsty right about now? Well, as busy moms, we often forget to hydrate, but did you know that dehydration can actually lead to brain fog and make it more difficult to lose weight? Certified functional health coach Debbie Wright is here, and we're going to be talking about how to hydrate like a boss. You're going to want to drink your water after this. Debbie, thanks for being with us as you drink some water.
That's right. It's so important. And thank you for bringing this topic to light because I do think it's something that's really worthy of people understanding just how critical it is to stay hydrated and to drink your water throughout the day. It literally drives every function in your body.
Right. Our kids are buying, there's $45 water bottles that are trendy now. Everybody
I know.
seems to be drinking, but in fact, I think most of us don't do as much as we should. Let's first talk about, why is water consumption so important?
Well, our entire body, over 70% is made of water. Our brain itself is made up of over 85% water. And when I talk about just in normal body functioning, water is a critical component. I think a lot of times we think, oh, if we're not sweating, we need to get water, it's important. But truly, water, we use water when we sweat. When we breathe, we use water. Water is required to carry nutrients throughout our body. Water is critical for the kidneys to function properly so that you eliminate toxins. Water is appropriate and or is necessary for cognition and brain function. I mean, there's crazy statistics that show even if you're 1% dehydrated, you're 5% less cognitive. Like, it's critical for just living your life and feeling great.
Yeah. So let's dig into that first, brain fog, especially as we get a little older. And I know this is where you have really studied with the Chris Kessler Institute, with the Wild Institute, all of this. So as we get a little older, I think as kids, I don't know, they don't think about it, but I know we both we've raised teenagers, yours are in college now. Maybe they bounce back easier, but as we get a little older, you might notice, like, gosh, I just don't have the energy, and I also am having trouble focusing. Just drinking water could really make a difference.
It really does. I mean, water itself gives the brain energy. It fuels cognition. It fuels thought and memory. And those are the reasons why I think, we have to understand why we're doing the things that we're doing to be healthier. Why do you make the choices that you make? It's because they're important. But I feel like in this particular instance with water, it's really elevating, like, truly, how important is it when you think of these awful, scary diseases that many of our parents have faced and many people face now, with Alzheimer's and, dementia. And having water and drinking the right amount for your body every day, replacing what you lose every day, it is absolutely critical in helping to keep all of these diseases at bay, because it is a part of what our body uses and what our body needs and what our body requires. And in this day and age, it gets thought about, but it's not really, I feel, a focus in much of the spotlight as it needs to be.
Well, I noticed, on Instagram, you were even forcing yourself as a health coach to drink more water. And I think that I'm
Yeah,
cognizant of it. And then there are days that I look and I'm like, I didn't finish that bottle, or how many did I have? So
yeah,
how
right.
much water do we need?
Well, here's a little trick. Now, wherever you're starting, if you're thinking, okay, now I get it, I want my organs to work better. I want the nutrients. I'm so focused on eating to get to my cells. I want to be able to sleep better. I want to be able to think better. I want less headaches, all the things that you're going to get. There's so many benefits from drinking more water. Now, if you're having a hard time drinking one glass, start there. Like, wherever you're at, just try to increase it. If you're having a hard time drinking a couple of glasses a day or even a bottle, start with giving yourself a realistic goal. Don't jump from one glass to a gallon, because I will tell you, I thought I drank a lot of water. And when I bought that gallon water jug and tried to get through it in a day, it is not easy. One of the tricks is start with having a glass of water before your coffee or tea in the morning. If you can get 8 or 10 ounces in the morning, that is a really great jump start when you think about, having slept all night for 8 hours, hopefully 7 or 8 hours. Your body is thirsty. Your body needs hydration. Your body needs energy to wake up. So having that glass of water before you have a dehydrating cup of coffee kind of made sense to me when I heard about that little trick. So that's something I recommend to my patients and my friends and my family. We all try to get that glass of water, and the bigger, the better. I then take it a step further and now add electrolytes to that first glass of water in the morning. So if you do the research, you can find plenty of it online. But we are so depleted when it comes to minerals in our diet because of the foods, and our soil is lacking many of the minerals it used to have. So even when we're trying to eat all the fruits and vegetables and all the things, they may not have been grown in that nutrient rich soil that we need. So replacing minerals and getting the minerals you need for healthy body function is also important. Make sure you get a good electrolyte mix. Make sure you and look at the sugar content, because sometimes they can be a little tricky and deceiving, and there's actually sugar added. You do not want that. So you want a good
No
clean source
sugar
of
added.
electrolytes. No sugar added is the biggest thing, because some are marketed and they have all these, great qualities, but then they add all this sugar and you don't want that. So if you can just give yourself a scoop of electrolytes in that morning glass of water before you have coffee or tea, you'll be off to a great start for the day.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to share the brand you have, if you like that. I am not saying you have any relationship with them, but if people, do you have
Yeah.
one that you did some research on that you like for people listening?
Yes, I don't have any affiliation, but I did find this one by Key Nutrients, and they have so many supplements in this, and it's very clean. I like it a lot. This lasts a long time. It was $19, I think, and it's probably, you just need a little scoop, one scoop a day. And again, depending on your activity level, you may require a second scoop, but talk to your doctor when it comes to how many scoops perhaps for you. But for most of us, you can start out with one scoop, and this will last a long time. Make sure it's clean, and I think you're going to feel immediately more energized.
Okay, and there also are tablets, right? There's liquid IV, there's the Noon tablets, there's all those kinds of things. But the idea would be to get the electrolytes in the morning because it's going to help you stay hydrated all day.
Exactly, exactly. And you're getting those nutrients and minerals early in the morning after you're coming off of a rest where your
Hmm.
body hasn't had any hydration, hasn't had any nutrients. So if you can give your body that support when you start out in the morning, you're in a much better position. Your body is a lot happier.
Now, for all those people who rush around in the morning and are thinking, gosh, I
Yes.
forgot my water, but I'm going to have another glass later on, you could just take the electrolytes later on too, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. I just find that it's one of those
for sure.
little rituals now that I look forward to,
But it
right?
won't keep you awake.
Having that, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, and actually, we had a coach on also, and I know you guys all work together, but one idea, which I'm a visual person, but she suggested that helped her is she put a glass of water next to her bed. And so when she woke up in the
Yeah.
morning, the first thing she did is drink some water. So that might be a way that you could
Yeah.
remember to do it.
No, absolutely. And that's where, start wherever you're at. Don't set the goal to be so lofty, something that you won't, even remotely come close to it. If it's, I'm going to fill my water bottle twice today because I don't even get through half of it normally, or, I'm going to have that glass of water. I'm just going to drink it. And then I'm going to reward myself with my coffee. Because I know for many of us, coffee or tea is that sacred ritual every morning. And I go to bed sometimes dreaming about my morning cup of coffee. I love my coffee. So I almost tricked myself too by thinking, all right, if I can get through even a bottle, I then get to reward myself with my coffee, and then I'm just going to feel that much better.
Yeah.
So it is, You just got to trick yourself and make it, easy for you to do.
I don't have a problem. I like water, but I mean, I work with Scott, right, my co-host, who really has been told so
Right.
many times you need to drink water, and he
Yeah.
hates it. And he's just drinking coffee all day long. So if we're drinking nothing but coffee or soda all day long, that's not hydrating. That's dehydrating, right?
That's dehydrating, right? And I think, for people like that, and I get that a lot. And it's, I think it really is just that they're, Scott, I don't know that he fully recognizes, you just kind of hear, and so many of us, right, that water's important. But to really understand, like even to be 1% dehydrated, you're up to 5% less cognitive, that your kidneys function at their optimal level when you have enough hydration, when they're flushing out the toxins, to really think about what's not happening. When you don't get enough water, you start to recognize, you know what, wait, maybe it's worth it that I just start drinking some, and then let me see how I feel. And you're gonna feel better. The body needs it. It's a natural thing that our body needs to function. And so many people are just used to functioning without it,
Yeah.
that they don't know the difference until they start, right?
So starting small, and it's okay to flavor it a little bit. I know we want sugar-free, we want all those things,
Yeah.
but if you put a splash of lemonade, orange juice, a splash of even your favorite drink, Gatorade, that would be a way to start, rather than if you're like, I just can't stomach drinking this plain water. I like water. Some people really don't like the taste of water, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's a real for sure, and if it really is something, that is hard for you to think about drinking, yeah, absolutely, and I would try to, steer people to more natural things, like maybe squeeze some lemon or put some blueberries in there, or, sweeten it that way with fruit. That might be a nice
Yeah.
enough, taste elevation for you. But yeah, I would try to stick with something. But again, if it's a little Gatorade, but you're drinking water coming from not drinking any water, then I'll take it.
Yes.
Right.
Right. And so that's where we're talking about. The research really shows if we want to make a change, we ought to be motivated.
Yes.
And if you
Yeah.
really hate the taste of water, I guess you're not going to be that motivated to do it. So starting where you are. Why is water so important for us to lose weight?
Well, water, again, when you think about the importance it plays in the body, eliminating toxins, helping the organs to function in a more optimal way. When I think about optimal health, I think about it's not a weight, it's not a look. It really is about getting your body in a state where it's humming along. That's how I kind of describe it, right? We want our organs to be humming. We want, elimination to be moving through our bodies. There's so much we're exposed to during the day. When we're eating good foods, we want those nutrients to get to our cells, because when everything is working optimally, we feel great. So that is the goal, right? So when it comes to, the thought of maybe even losing weight, when you're hydrated, you're less hungry, and a lot of times, I know you've probably seen it too, Kara, with these articles, like, when someone's, tempted to grab a snack, are you really hungry or are you thirsty? Or, if you just had an 8-ounce glass of water, would you not be hungry anymore? It's just one of those strategies where there's so many benefits that come from it. Why not, if you're feeling hungry, have that extra glass of water and then take a minute to see, what am I really feeling? Is it hunger?
Well, there's a lot on the internet too about having a glass of water with lemon ahead of time, or a little bit of apple cider vinegar before you have
Yes.
a carby meal. You're going to actually digest it better, right?
Yes. And that's again going back to, the water helping the nutrients that you are taking in get to your cells. So you're more satiated with the foods that you're eating as well when you combine and have more water along with the foods that you eat throughout the day. So from a couple of different angles, it's filling. When you're hydrated, you're not as hungry, and it also helps you to extract the benefits from the foods that you're eating and to optimize and get the most out of them.
And detox is something that they talk about in the functional world, which I know you're in. Detox is super
Yeah.
important. We're not gonna, if we have too many toxins, if our liver's not working
Yeah.
properly, we're not gonna lose weight very easily if we're trying to lose fat.
Exactly, exactly. So if your body's not eliminating those toxins naturally, which water helps to facilitate, that can also clog things up, right? So it is an interesting topic because, in my opinion, when someone wants to get healthier, whatever that means for individuals, sometimes people think it's so, it's a big undertaking, but I believe that water is one of the easiest things to start adding in to your day-to-day routine. It doesn't require you to run a marathon or exert a whole lot of energy. It's like, okay, if this is something that I don't take in a lot of right now and I want to feel better, I'm going to try to bring more water into my life. I just feel like it's definitely like an easier step one to take on the track to feeling better.
Yeah. So another trick that I've noticed is if I leave the water bottle on my desk here at work, I'm more likely to go fill it up. So just having it easy, having something that you enjoy, having that near you. Now we got to talk about the kind of water. And but actually, before we move on to that, I'm going to press you a little bit because I know you said start where we are. But what is ideal from the latest research you've done? How much is it by our, I've heard do your body weight times 0.55 in ounces. What is the ideal goal for water consumption?
I have read just in general, I would say 80 ounces. And again, you can Google this and you can find a lot of different formulations, but 80 ounces seems to be sort of a realistic and kind of general target that would benefit folks.
Yeah.
Of all weights and sizes. If you can start there, you're in a good place. And again, it depends on, I think a lot of people who sweat a lot, they know they need to replace, and they may be the ones more apt to drink more water because they're sweating and they know they have to replace it. Or when I do the saunas and I sweat a lot, I know I need to take in more water that day. But remember, at least 80 ounces, because breathing and eliminating and all those things also take a lot and require a lot of water.
Right.
So just that alone,
We used
80
to-
ounces is where I would start.
We used to just say 8 glasses of 8 ounces, which would actually be a little less than that. But so 80 is the big goal, but you want people, if you're drinking no water right now, maybe just start replacing a glass in the morning, have a glass before lunch, and worry about eliminating some of
With
the
meals.
bad drinks afterward. But you just want people to get more water in.
Just get more water wherever you are. And that's, I think, one of the nice things that will perhaps come of this, where if you're focused on drinking more water because you're realizing, wow, it makes a lot of sense. Let me test this theory out. You may find that, wow, I'm not as tempted to have that Coke because I'm going to have a water instead. So then, it may start to domino. And then suddenly you think, wow, I didn't have 2 Cokes like I usually do. I had more water. Yay, me. And you start feeling better. And then that's what starts nice momentum for you.
Yeah, and also you want to check the water quality. I'm someone who will go to the
Yes.
restaurant, and when they say, "Do you want tap?" I say, "Fine, I'll have Hartford's finest."
Yeah.
Because I thought water's free, and we're lucky we live in a country where you can just get water. And yeah, my kids are always saying, "I want to use the filter from the refrigerator. I want to hear." I think my water tastes okay,
Yes.
but you want us, if we really want to go to that next level. And again, we just want you drinking water. But if you want to go to the next level,
Right.
there is a way to check your specific water quality.
Yes, and absolutely. There's so much I know involved in this, but if you're really curious and you're drinking tap water, you can go to ewg.org and type in your zip code, and it's very interesting. It will tell you how many toxins are in your current water. It will then go into the percents of what is in the water and the risk associated with those percentages of toxins. It's very eye-opening. So again, we want you drinking more water, but the quality of your water is also very important in avoiding disease and optimizing optimizing your health. So it's a it's a great exercise to embark on if you're curious. I even do it. I did it here. I stay at the hotel quite a bit. I commute for work. And, the water here is terrible, but I asked the hotel if they filter and they said, yes, everything is filtered. So I drink from the tap. So it's just awareness, right? It's interesting. And it's awareness is key.
Okay, so I'm still working on drinking tap water, and I guess maybe if I do have a filter at home. I just did it while you were talking, and I went in. That's how easy it is. I went to ewg.org, and under the little hamburger, I just put tap water database. So I put in my zip code, and it doesn't like it very much. It says that there are 7. It gave it a 7, and that says it exceeds their guidelines with 19 total contaminants. So then it hooks me up if I want to go filter them or reduce my exposure. This is, people will say, but my water's safe. I live in a city and they have to be, that next level, groups like EWG or maybe folks who are super focused on being clean like yourself, that next level is they're saying just because it's labeled safe by the government, they don't necessarily think it's good.
Correct. And you can scroll as you look even down further, and it will list out specifically what percent of the toxins that are listed are in the water and what the, potential risks are with that. And then you can decide. I mean, you can buy, we live in an old house, and you can buy individual filters for, you can buy the filters that you put in the refrigerator. There's all different kinds of filters, which EWG will also recommend. You can put a filter on the faucet, in the kitchen, if that's primarily where you get water. I mean, filters themselves aren't that expensive. You can even put them, on the shower heads, and all of those are fairly easy to install and really accessible on sites like Amazon. So if you're curious, definitely check it out. It's an interesting exercise, and there's an easy fix to it. And again, we want you to get water because it's so critical for your body to function well, and for you to think well, and for you to avoid disease, and for you to eliminate toxins and all the things that we're talking about. It's critical for your health. Literally every body function requires water. Next level is good quality water.
All right, I'm just going to do the work for people that when you next do the thing and say, how do I fix it? The least expensive way is just to get yourself a carbon filter, like a Brita filter.
Right.
And then you can do, more. You could do some things actually in your system. But anyway, that's what we do. But ideally, I know you always love your products. I saw you on Instagram. You just got yourself a gallon just to see how far you could get through it.
Right.
Is gallon 80 ounces? I don't know how to do the math on that. What is that?
Oh, I don't even know how many ounces a gallon is, to be honest.
Well, that's not it. But there's a lot of people holding gallons. Is that because you're trying to drink a gallon? Is that a good goal?
Yeah, that is a good goal. And, for me that day, like for many of us, it's a visual, right? Like you had said, you're a visual person. So if 80 ounces is, 8 of your water bottles, or for that gallon, it was very visual, as I filled my water bottle every day, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm only halfway through the gallon, So you're motivated because you see it go down and you know what's required of you for the day. It's very measurable, right?
Yes.
So that's where, Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, thank you to Jamie. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Debbie, but Jamie, our wonderful director, said there's 128 ounces in a gallon. So that would be like A+++. You don't necessarily have to drink the whole gallon, but that's a good visual.
That's why it was hard.
That's why it was hard. Well, I've seen them even at like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, they have lines like, you're doing okay, keep going, almost there. There's all of this. Obviously, I'll say another one of our trainers, Joe Carabassi, who comes on, he said it kind of depends on your body weight, which would make sense. Maybe my husband would need more water than me, and to multiply your body weight by 0.55, so a little more than half your body weight in ounces. That's what he does for detoxing and weight loss. But either way, I guess as we come to the end here, I always like to give people 3 actionable steps. So let's review here. Number 1, one small thing you could do that really could drastically change the trajectory of your health would be to increase more water.
Absolutely. And start by, as big of a glass as you can have in the morning after you come off of a beautiful restorative night's rest, hopefully. Either way, have that glass in the morning, add some nice electrolytes that are low in sugar. That's a great little takeaway.
And number two would be the electrolytes, which is find a good quality brand. You mentioned Key Nutrients. There's other ones out there. I've noticed that they're even at the drugstores now. Like, it's becoming more popular. But the idea that you put the electrolytes in, that might help you if you're not drinking as much water later on. It's going to help you really boost your hydration.
It will. And, in many cases, it might flavor it, which makes it easier for you to digest the water. Just be mindful of no added sugar. I know there's a couple of very popular ones that you're going to be surprised to see has a lot of added sugar, and you don't want that.
Okay. And finally, if you want to be the A+ water user, you could go to ewg.org, plug in your zip code as I just did, and you can just find out how your water utility is scoring, how is the water where you live, and then it gives you some easy ways if you want to try and correct some of that, which again, the easiest, most least expensive would be, let's start with a carbon filter. I think they even sell water bottles now that have carbon filters, so you just put it right in there.
They do, yeah. And to your point, with all the fancy water bottles out there, whatever it takes to make drinking water joyful for you, that's going to encourage you to want to sip on it throughout the day, do that. Maybe it's a pretty new water bottle for the new year that will inspire you to drink more water. Have at it.
Well, I know the Stanleys obviously have blown up and everyone wanted, all the teenagers wanted this for Christmas, but my daughter claims she drinks more water just because there's a straw. So it might be that you just need a straw, and that extra step of opening it you don't want to do, but if there was a straw, you would drink it.
I agree with Elena 100%. They say, with straws, maybe the lips, we have to be mindful when we get older, but I don't care. I know that I drink a lot more water through a straw, so I'm with Elena on that one.
Okay, so get a straw. Hopefully not too many plastic ones. That's not good for the environment, but a water bottle with a straw or something you can just go and you don't have to unscrew the top, because nobody wants to do that. Okay, so that's another way to drink more. Rewarding yourself. I love the idea, do the thing for yourself first. The other thing that helps me, and I'll share this with our audience, is I never knew until recently that you can put a tea bag in cold water. And I love tea. I drink a lot of hot tea, but you could drop in a green tea bag, which can also help with your metabolism. But any herbal tea is not going to dehydrate you. Green tea, I know, has some caffeine, but if you just want to flavor it with like hibiscus or something like that, you could drop a tea bag in, and that could really help you and hydrate you, right?
I love that. Absolutely. That's a great tip. That's so helpful, in terms of if someone really doesn't like the flavor of water, add, and another recommendation we talked about, maybe it's fruits, right? Maybe it's blueberries or lemons or something to just sort of flavor the water that gives you even more benefits from the vitamins and minerals. Absolutely. I love that idea. I love the cold tea. Yes.
Yes. Debbie, thank you so much. I hope everyone can do this one simple thing. We're managing a lot with holidays and so many things. I know I'm going to put some water by my bed. So thank you for being on CURES, Debbie.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
And you can follow more information to be well at Kara Sundlin. Have a great day and be well.